Hello, all my chickadees! Welcome back to Our Fate Forsaken. This is part 5, I do believe. If you haven't seen the other parts, they're up on my channel, and I suggest you hop on over and check them out so you won't be confused about what's going on. Or, just stick around and join in. It's your choice. But we're gonna jump on in and see what we get up to this time. Okay, let's see. Woo, oh yeah, I forgot we filled up all the blocks. Goodness, I think it was this one, right? Okay, yeah, we're going back down to visit Azza again. I traveled down to the mundane world to pay Azza a visit. Oops. Since I located him easily, I went to the university he was attending. I knew he was inside, but I couldn't enter the building. The security standing by the door wouldn't allow me to step in since I didn't have access. Because I was stuck outside, I waited. And waited, but Azza was nowhere to be seen. I thought about coming back later, but ultimately I decided to be patient. As I glanced around, I was struck with a bright idea once my gaze landed on a large tree beside the building. I wonder if I can look inside the building if I climb up on a branch. Then he would surely see me and come outside. With this newly formed idea in mind, I set it into motion as I hugged the tree and began to climb it. I let out a huff once I reached the first branch. My arms were quite weak, but at least I managed to carry myself to the top. Ah, look at us! Now that I was near the upper floor, I spied through the glass to see if Azza was there. But it was futile because he was still nowhere to be seen. We're gonna get in trouble, aren't we? That security's gonna come get us. My lips puckered into a pout when I realized my efforts had gone to waste. Hey, what are you doing up there? Told ya. I flinched when I heard someone shouting down below. When I looked down, I noticed a crowd of humans was gathered beneath me. I could clearly hear them asking each other who I was and what I was doing up there. This made me realize I had made a mistake. Yes. We're doing some non-normal behavior. Guess climbing a tree was a little out of the ordinary. I thought about what I should do to escape the unwanted attention. Zeph! When I heard a familiar voice calling out my name, I frantically searched for the source. Oh, look how happy Zeph is. He found Azza. My face came in contact with the human I was looking for, and my face immediately lit up. I waved at him excitedly. Azza, I've been looking for you. Get down here. It's too dangerous if you stay up there. All right. Azza's face was filled with worry, so I started climbing back down. Besides, I already found who I was looking for, so I had no need to stay up on this tree branch. As I was climbing down, I lost my footing on the round surface and slipped. Of course, of course. Is he gonna catch us? Is this gonna be like a classic moment? Is he gonna catch us? I attempted to save myself by grabbing the tree trunk, but I was too late. I was out of arm's reach. It was out of arm's reach. A moment of panic flashed as I fell from the distance. When my back came in contact with the ground, I let out a groan. No, he didn't catch us. I was fully expecting him to be like caught, like that romantic trope of always getting like caught by, the person you're gonna fall in love with when you fall out the tree and stuff. Nope. We dropped like a bag of rocks. Even though I fell from 16 feet, I only felt a slight tinge of pain. It didn't hurt that much, maybe because I was already dead. I slowly stood up and brushed the dirt off my clothes. When I noticed everyone around me gasping and staring at me wide-eyed, I realized my antics drew even more attention. Oh, crap. How do I make them stop looking at me? I was caught off guard when Azza ran up to me and hugged me tightly. You idiot. As I returned the embrace, I realized he was trembling. He's crying! Tears began to stream down his face as he buried his face against the crook of my neck. Oh, that must have, like, scared him, because he did lose, like, the person he was in love with. And he does act like he enjoys tormenting us and stuff like that. But maybe that, like, really sent a wave of fear through him. I'm alright. Please don't cry. I was scared for my life when you fell out of that tree. Please, promise me you'll never pull a stunt like that ever again. I won't. Seeing how concerned Asa was for me, I felt guilty about my reckless actions. I thought you were gonna die. I bit my lip, trying to prevent myself from telling him that I was already dead. I don't want to lose you too. This is Asa, sorry. I don't want to lose you too. As he sobbed into my arms, I hugged him tight to reassure him that I won't be going anywhere. After he calmed down, he slowly pulled away. Since a few people were still crowded around us, Asia grabbed my wrist and started dragging me out of the area. When we were away from prying eyes, my companion touched me all over as if he was looking for something. What's the matter? What do you mean by asking what's the matter? You fell from a huge height, so I'm checking if you're alright. I'm fine. How are you acting as if it was nothing? Do you have, like, bones of steel or something? Kinda. Whatever. I'm just glad you're fine. Asia's eyes were still puffy from crying earlier, so I extended my arm to lightly touch them. For you to be that worried about me, you do still care about me, right? Of course I do. Asia wrapped his fingers around mine and held it tightly. Or maybe his grip was too tight since he was putting a lot of pressure. I could feel him trembling and assumed he was still shaken by the incident. Someone I loved died right before my eyes. So I was scared that I was witnessing it yet again. Are you talking about Eli? Asa nodded and squeezed my hand. I guess I should continue where I'd left off the other day and tell you about him. When he died, I saw it all happen before my eyes. We were walking home together that day, and he crossed the street. Then all of a sudden, he was passing a red light, and before I could react, a car collided with him. Oh, no. No, that... I watched as his limp body fell to the ground. I will never forget the lifeless look in his eyes as he gazed at me one last time before they turned soulless and cold. Judging from his expression, I could tell he was still traumatized, so I caressed him to calm him down. I ran away from that scene, and I've regretted that ever since. It was an accident. You were scared, so you ran away. I think that's a normal response. No, there's something more. Asia gripped my hand tightly, so much that his nails were digging into my skin. I can't tell you yet. Maybe I'll tell you the full story another day. What? How is there more? Are you guilt tripping because you didn't go with him over there? Or didn't stop him from going across the street? You're acting quite suspicious. I'll wait until you're ready to open up. The good one is wait till you're ready to open up. But he is acting suspicious. Is he somehow involved with how he died? Is that why he's feeling super guilty? I'll wait till you're ready to open up. We'll be nice, even though he's not nice to us all the time. His grip eventually loosened, and he cast his head down. Because he reminds me of you, I feel better sharing that story. Like, your personality and everything else are really similar. We were definitely Eli in real life, right? So you behave more weirdly than he does. Because of that, my weird brain thought he would forgive me if I told you about him. Forgive you? Is he still mad at you? Pretty sure he would be. Asia then grabbed both my cheeks to make me face him. I just want to clarify that even though the two of you are similar, I see both of you individually. You're not a replacement for him. You are you. Oh, that's good. That's good at least. I know. You already reassured me. But I want to repeat it again just to make sure. I loved him before, but you are the person I love now. A smile formed on my lips, and I gazed into his crimson orbs. I understand. Say, since you keep mentioning the two of us are similar, do you have a picture so I can at least see what he looks like? Sure, I guess. Asia took out his phone before handing the device to me. I took the device in my hand and my eyes widened when I saw the face on the screen. Holy crap, it is us! I was staring at me. That is us! Look, the freaking mole's in the same place, the hair's the same thing. That's us. That is freaking us. We were him. How? If I was Asia, I'd be more concerned, being like, are you sure you're not Eli and have amnesia? Because that is exactly it. Look, we're even wearing the same kind of colors. Oh my goodness. It was obviously me because the person on the screen even had the same mole under his lip. I was pretty sure I wasn't mistaken. Huh? I turned to look at Asia, then back at the phone. I was confused as to why he never realized that I was his friend all along. Doesn't this person in the picture look exactly like me? What are you talking about? You look nothing like Eli. This confused me even further. I touched my own face as if I was confirming my own features. I handed the device back to Asia as a ton of questions flooded my brain. Then I realized an important detail. Supposedly, I died at an old age, but Asia, who knew me when I was alive, appeared youthful. How old was Eli when he passed away? He's a year younger than me, so he was 21. Gabriel clearly told me I died of heart failure during my old age. Yeah, I don't think Gabriel was telling us the truth. But if my real identity was Eli, it would mean I passed away from a car accident at a young age. It didn't make sense. How could I die from two completely different causes at two different timelines? I have to go. As I turned around to leave, Asia grabs my wrist. What's the matter? Something's bothering me, so I just have to go clear it. My companion nervously scratched his neck as he averted his gaze. Did it make you uncomfortable how I kept bringing up Eli? No, we're uncomfortable by the fact this is us. That is clearly us. Huh. I wonder how Asia's like, you look nothing like him. Do we appear different to him? I mean, because we're clearly that person's twin if that's not us. No, not at all. The reason I'm leaving so soon is not your fault, so please don't worry about it. Honestly, I was a little jealous at first since he kept mentioning how he loved his friend. But now, when I knew that the person was me all along, feelings of envy disappeared. Asia then planted a quick peck on my cheek. You know I love you, right? I do. The fact that he loved me when I was human, and even now when he couldn't recognize me, made me feel appreciated. Was our connection really that strong? Even though I wanted to stay with Asia a while longer, I had to get answers first. Gabriel, come here! Back inside my residence, I was glad that Gabriel was inside because I knew he was the only one who could answer my questions. Welcome back. I just returned as well. As I approached him, I thought about what to ask first. If I were to meet a human that I had a connection with while I was still alive, will they recognize my face as an angel? No. Since lower angels tend to visit their loved ones on Earth often, it would be troublesome if the humans recognized their face. How come? Wouldn't it be better if they could recognize and reunite with each other? No, because that would then confirm the existence of angels in heaven. And, as I mentioned before, that should not happen. They need a sense of ambiguity regarding heaven for them to freely decide what to do with their time on Earth. If they were certain heaven was real, they would do whatever it takes and force themselves to be good to escape judgment. That sounds harsh. If they have a pure heart in the first place, then they do not need to worry. Gabriel brushed his hand over my chest and hovered over my heart. Especially someone as pure as you has no need to worry. I gazed into the Archangel's bright yellow orbs as I contemplated my next words. I have another question. What is it? He's in a good mood right now. We're about to break that mood, aren't we? Did I really die of heart failure when I was 84? Gabriel frowned as he paused to stare at me for a while. Do you want confirmation? I can show you the proof. He has proof? Why are we here? The Archangel then took me to the far end of the room. The books near the entrance are ones that were written by human and angel authors. But the ones back here are not just books. Gabriel ran his fingers along the shelves before picking one out. This is the Book of Life. The contents within these pages contain details about the life of each individual human. The whole story about what their fate is supposed to follow. When that person strays from their path, an archangel will record it, and the contents of the book will change as that human follows a different path from the original. Gabriel flipped through the pages of the large book he was holding and stopped when he reached the end. This book contains details about you, or about your life as a mortal. Then he passed it to me and showed me what was written. Died of heart failure. See, there's your proof. You were supposed to die that way, and your fate never changed. As I was about to flip through the previous pages to find out more about my life, Gabriel grabbed the book from my hands and placed it back on the bookshelf. It didn't say when we died. It didn't say age 84 died of heart failure. We could have... Hang on. My brain is a-braining. Zeph could have gotten hit by the truck or car or whatever, and then died of heart failure because of the injuries, because he said, oh my gosh, I'm having a brain fart moment, give me a second. Asia, that's his name. He said that Eli looked at him and he could see the light draining from his eyes. So Eli didn't die immediately upon impact. He died right after, because he was able to look back at him, right? So he could have died from a heart attack because of the injuries from being hit by a car or a truck. That's what happened. Gabriel's still trying to be smooth here, though. I was still looking through it. Why are you still hung up on your human life? You have a new life. With me. There he goes again. Persistent on making me ignore my past. You're acting quite suspicious. That was the exact same thing we could have said to Asia. It's like, I won't ask you any more questions. You're acting quite suspicious. Am I? Since I knew I couldn't argue with him, I eventually relented. Gabriel wrapped his arms around my shoulder and pulled me into his embrace. While I was pressed against his cheek, I could hear the rhythm of his heartbeat. I want you to only look at the present and future, where we'll always be together. Why bother reminiscing about your life as a human when it's short compared to the eternity you'll be spending with me? I nodded, but at the back of my mind, I was still feeling perturbed. Something just didn't feel right. I saw my fate written in that book, so why did Asia claim... Sorry, cat in the way. That I died young during that accident? How I wish my memory returned so I could find out the truth. Even though Gabriel told me not to concern myself with the past, I had a right to know how I died. I had to find out the truth about what happened to me. Oh, we made it to chapter 6! So I was like so close. To ending the last part with the end of the chapter like normal, and I messed up, it seems. Okay. Alright. Sorry, I had to move that around a little bit. As always, I have a cat half blocking my screen, so. While I was sitting on the couch, Gabriel had his head on my lap. Do you know how special you are to me? I nodded, since I heard him say it a couple of times before. Still, they never failed to make my heart skip a beat. My fingers ran through his luscious white hair. Since his bangs slightly covered his eyes, I moved them to the side to get a better view of his face. How did I become so special to you? Because you have a pure soul. You have to elaborate more than that. I know you don't want me to ask about my human past, but I want to at least know how we met. Gabriel paused and stared at the ceiling for a few seconds before eventually relenting. Oh, he's gonna tell us something! He's gonna tell us something! Well, I guess I can fill you in. You were just an ordinary human, so I wasn't aware of your existence at first. One day, I had a calling, but it wasn't you who was in trouble. I flew down to Earth after a voice in my head told me to carry out an order. I frantically glanced around the street in search of my target. Where could the suspect be? In a few minutes, a man who had lost his mind would march down the street to meet up with his girlfriend. The two had an argument because the man had suspected his partner of infidelity. Since he was still furious, he would be armed with a knife. Meanwhile, his partner wasn't aware. She only wanted to meet up with him to explain her side of the situation and patch things up with her boyfriend. Tragic. If he wasn't blinded by rage, they would go on to wed each other and live a happy life. But now, their fate was going to change. If I wasn't there, she would be stabbed and killed by her partner. But it was not her time to die just yet. I glanced in all directions. Luckily, barely anyone was around at the moment. Better for me, since I didn't want to attract any attention. Oh, suspicious. When I spotted the target approaching, I immediately took action and sped towards him. As I was informed in my head, he carried a small kitchen knife in his left hand, and I knew I had to disarm him first to make sure he didn't harm anyone. I rushed in to grab the man's arm. Let go! The attacker struggled and grazed my arm with the sharp tip of the weapon. Troublesome. With one quick motion, I punched him directly in the face, knocking the man to the ground. As he collapsed, I kicked the knife out of his hands. The man let out a groan as he attempted to stand back up, so I stepped on his stomach to prevent him from getting up. For humans like these, talking and reasoning would no longer work when their mind was clouded by sin. That is why we had to resort to physical violence during these special cases. As I watched the man squirm under my foot, a grin spread across my lips. But I do enjoy it when stray and impure low lives like him feel pain. I stomped on his face to knock him out completely. Oh, Gabe, you're like, oh, I'm gonna teach him a lesson. Hey, stop that! I turned around to glance at the person who was calling out to me. The young man had a furious look on his face, but maybe because of his features, it came off cute instead of menacing. What are you doing to him? You're hurting him. I let out a sigh, annoyed that this human would go out of his way to interrupt me. He then tugged on my arm, attempting to stop me from stomping on the attacker's stomach. It was futile since his strength was nothing compared to mine. Why are you trying to stop me? Because you're obviously a bad person. Me? Bad? It was the first time I was described that way, so I was a bit amused. How am I bad? You attacked this poor guy out of nowhere. I covered my mouth as I tried to muffle my laughter. What's so funny? You think I would harm him out of nowhere? Since the knife was still on the ground, I kicked it towards the young human to show him proof. He was carrying a weapon in broad daylight. If I didn't stop him, he would have stabbed somebody. The young man let out a gasp when he saw the knife. I'm so sorry. I thought you were the bad guy, but you're actually the good guy. The human repeated his apologies to me, and I was amused by his frantic behavior. It made me slightly interested in the mortal. If you're truly sorry, tell me your name. It's Eli. It was Eli! What about yours, mister? You don't need to know. A pout formed on his face, which drew me to this person even more. It's like, you got my name and I can't get your name? Come on. He was cute. It's not that I don't want to tell your name, it's that I shouldn't. There's truth to my words, because I couldn't reveal my identity as an archangel. I eyed the strange human and examined his figure attentively. He looked weak. This caused Eli to puff his cheeks even more. Well, I'm sorry that I'm weak. No, I didn't mean to upset you. I was just wondering why you attempted to get in a brawl with me when you had no strength. Well, it didn't matter if I had strength or not. At the moment, the only thought on my mind was to save someone who I thought was in trouble. And so you attempted to save a cruel individual with murder on his mind. I really didn't know he was the bad guy. I let out a chuckle, entertained by the innocence of this human. It didn't matter if I was weak. I just wanted to do a good thing, you know? I only had good intentions from the start. Why? Why do you want to do a good deed? You're aware you won't benefit from performing such deeds, right? I don't care about the benefits. The world is already filled with evil and sad things, so I want to do whatever I can to make the world a better place. You stopped the bad guy, right, mister? So you're also doing the same thing as me. This made me smile. I had always thought the mortals were corrupt, but maybe there was other pure souls like him in this realm. Or perhaps he's a special case. Suddenly, Ei let out a gasp and I stared at my arm. You're bleeding! I followed his gaze and noticed some blood was dripping off me. My skin must have gotten grazed while I was disarming the attacker earlier. It didn't hurt since I didn't have a nervous system like the humans, but the blood was still a bit annoying to deal with. He doesn't have a nervous system. Okay. We'll come back to that. My skin will probably regenerate quickly when I return to heaven anyway. Even though I was calm, the human in front of me was panicking. What do? We have to stop the bleeding? It's fine, it's just a small scratch. Tissue! Are you even listening to me? No, he's not. Wait, but I don't have my bag with me, so where am I gonna get a tissue? Can you stop panicking? The human continued to freak out like my words didn't enter his ears one bit. I should use my clothes. No, wait. There must be dirty since there are germs on them, and that might give you an infection. I'm serious. You don't have to work. Oh my god! Really? Dude, do you know how dirty your mouth is? Oh god. Baby's trying here. Baby's trying. Before I could finish my sentence, Eli grabbed my arm and I felt something warm on my skin. My eyes widened in shock when I realized Eli was licking the area where I was injured. Feeling his soft, warm tongue graze against my skin caused me to blush. The human's action was so unpredictable. I couldn't understand why he wanted me to feel this. He caused me to feel this strange sensation. It tastes so irony. It's blood, Eli. Of course it tastes irony. What else did you expect? After licking the blood clean, he lets go of my arm and grinned. In the back of my mind, I wonder if there would be any consequences since he ingested angel blood. Oh. but it should be fine since we're all created by the same creator. Yeah, but you're a celestial being. He is a human. You guys, come on. You see the issue with that? Why did you lick me? Well, I like animals, so I watch animal videos all the time. And realized when they're hurt, they would lick the injured spot to feel better. If it's a remedy for animals, I assumed it'd be a remedy for us. Oh, baby. Seeing his bright smile struck a chord with me, and my chest tightened. I approached Eli and held his chin to observe his face closely. You really are pure. Your body is excluding innocence. That sounds so gross for some reason. Who even says that? Amused by the human, I pinched his cheek. Ow! His reaction, words, and everything else about him drew me in. I've seen many humans come and go during my lifetime, but never have I met someone who I felt a connection with as much as I did with him. Hey, mister, are you going to just stare and pinch my cheeks? I smirked before letting go of his face. I will remember his face. I will remember him. Since my mission was done, I turned my back to leave. Before I could take another step forward, I felt a hand tug on my shirt. Hey, mister, will we ever see each other again? You want to meet me again? A blush rose on Eli's cheeks as he nervously averted his gaze. You're a bit strange, but you're kind of cool, so I thought it would be nice to see you again. This caused me to smile as I felt even more attracted towards the human and his endearing behavior. I can guarantee that our next encounter will be inevitable. I'll make sure of it. I went back to heaven and entered the library as quickly as my legs could take me. After searching through the shelves, I finally came across a book that contained information about my human. Oh, he called him my human. He's like, this is my human, okay? I claim him. He is mine. He is my baby. Eli, I wanted to know more about him since I was deeply infatuated. After I skimmed through the details of his life, I held a hand on my chin. Gabriel, you called. When Brother Michael appeared before my eyes, I bowed to grace his presence. I have a request for you, dear brother. What do you need? I passed the book of life to Michael and pointed at the picture of the human. This is Eli. Since you're his guardian angel, break off your connection and assign him to me instead. Oh! So he was originally Michael was originally his guardian angel, and Gabriel's like, no. Give the human to me. Just slide him over the table here. I'll take good care of him. Yeah. And your reason is, you're my brother. Can't you fulfill my request for my sake? The other archangel sighed as he complimented for a few minutes. There's only one human, so transferring shouldn't be an issue. Why do you want to become his guardian angel instead? I just want to have some fun. What a surprise. Who knew I would hear those words from your mouth when you're usually stoic? Brother, you must surely understand how I feel. We've lived for millenniums. It's only natural to seek entertainment once in a while. You may be right, but I trust you won't act recklessly. I assure you I won't. I just want to watch over him. As Gabriel finished his story, I covered my face with both hands, feeling the embarrassment secondhand. Did you actually tell him his name was Eli? So you told him that whole thing, right? To accuse someone and make a mistake like that. I'm so sorry. You already apologized to me a long time ago. Why are you saying sorry now? Gabriel stroked his finger along my cheek. Your pure heart is what drew me to you. But if I were to turn corrupt one day, would you come to hate me? I won't. Because I'll make sure to preserve your innocence. I will never let anything corrupt your purity. I will never let anything get in our way. Even though he smiled brightly at me, there was something off about his tone. You know, a little bit of a yandere angel, you know, just a little. While Gabriel was away, I left the residence and traveled back to Earth. You really just ping-pong in between Earth and Heaven, aren't you? Usually, when the Archangel would not give me answers regarding my past life, I would just let it be since I had no choice. But now that I was aware I could get answers from Asia, I was not going to sit still. I wanted to know more about myself, about who I was. Only then would I actually feel a bit of clarity. As I was trying to locate Asia, I noticed his presence nearby. Near the street corner, a familiar human could be seen. When Asia noticed me, he waved his arms in the air. Seeing him brought a smile to my face, and I ran up to the human. Hey, were you looking for me? How did you know? For some reason, I had a weird sensation that told me where you were. That's why, even though it's getting super dark, I came outside. And I can't believe my hunch was right. We really do have this strange connection. You have no idea. Right. The bond that I felt with him, is it because I knew him while I was a human? Or was there a deeper meaning behind it? So, why were you searching for me? I wanted to ask you a few things. It's gonna take a while, so let's go find a place to sit. Back to the ice cream parlor. We took a seat at the corner of the room. What do you want to talk about? Can you tell me more about Eli? Why do you want to know about him? It'd be hard to make him believe me if I told him that his dead friend was actually me, so I scrubbed that explanation from my mind. I thought about a reasonable excuse that would relate me to my past human self. Well, I wanted to know more about him since you keep mentioning how similar we were. Yeah, but started to realize how odd it is to talk about my old love in front of my new love. I bit my lip as I tried my best to hold myself from revealing my identity. Here I was, thinking I would finally come out more about my human past, but with Asia's hesitancy, I wasn't so sure anymore. Can you just maybe brush the surface? Maybe talk about how the two of you met or something? Asia pursed his lips and thought while I waited patiently for a response. Well, if you're curious, I might as well. And I'm gonna leave it on a cliffhanger. Okay, I'm being evil. Let's see. No, not that button. So, see, we're studying at the same university. I didn't mean to press that. Dun dun dun. Okay, it's pretty cool. We learned, like, about how, but... Oh no, I loaded this up. Oh god. No! Oh no, I messed up. I messed up. Oh no. Oh no. I'm gonna have to play back through this and pick the same choices. Okay, well. I messed up. I mean, I was doing good for several months there. I wasn't messing up bad at all, and here we go. My specialty. But, anyway, it was really cool. We learned more about, like, how, Gabriel, like, met us and how he started becoming, like, interested in us. And now we're about to learn more about how Asia met Eli. So, I think we're getting closer to the end. What do you guys think? We are on chapter 6 now. I don't remember how many chapters it said it had. But anyway, I have to play through this again. So, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!